The unlikely engagement. On the vibrant planet of Zenthara, the sky shimmered in shades of pink and purple. Tall, glowing trees surrounded the royal palace, their leaves dancing in the soft, warm breeze. Inside the grand palace, Princess Lyra sat on her plush, golden throne, her heart heavy with worry. She was beautiful, with long silver hair and bright green eyes that sparkled like emeralds. Yet, despite her beauty, she felt trapped. Lyra had always dreamed of adventure and freedom, but today was different. Her parents, the king and queen, had called for an important meeting. The grand hall was filled with the sounds of chatter as the royal family's advisors discussed matters of the kingdom. But all Lyra could think about was the future that awaited her. "Lyra, my dear," her father said, his voice booming, "we have made an important decision for our kingdom." Lyra's heart raced. She had heard rumors of an arranged marriage, and she feared that today was the day. She exchanged nervous glances with her mother, who looked just as worried. "We are forming an alliance with the humans," the king continued. "To strengthen our ties, you will marry Prince Alex from Earth." Lyra's breath caught in her throat. The humans. She had heard stories about them. Some were fascinating, while others were strange and frightening. The thought of marrying one made her stomach churn. What if he was nothing like her? What if he was rude or boring? The idea of being tied to a human prince made her feel trapped. "What if I don't want to marry him?" Lyra asked, her voice trembling. "This is not just a personal matter, Lyra," her mother replied gently. "It is for the good of our kingdom. We need this alliance to maintain peace. The humans have advanced technology, and this union will help us prosper." Lyra understood the importance of alliances, but she felt like a pawn in their game. Why should her happiness be sacrificed for politics? The pressure of her royal duties weighed heavily on her shoulders. As the meeting continued, Lyra's mind drifted. She imagined running away to explore the universe, free from the chains of her royal life. But the reality of her situation pulled her back. She couldn't escape her destiny. "Tomorrow, the human prince will arrive," her father announced. "Prepare yourself, Lyra. You must make a good impression." As the advisors began to discuss wedding plans, Lyra felt a wave of sadness wash over her. She would have to put on a brave face, but inside, she was filled with dread. What would it be like to meet Prince Alex? Would he be as awful as she feared? That night, Lyra lay in her soft bed, staring at the stars outside her window. Each twinkling light reminded her of her dreams of adventure and love. She wished for a chance to find her own path, one not dictated by her royal blood. But tomorrow, she would meet the human prince, and she hoped, deep down, that maybe he would be different. Perhaps he could change her mind about humans. Perhaps he would be someone she could learn to love. For now, all she could do was wait and hope for a spark of magic in this unlikely engagement. The arrival of the human. The day had finally come. The sun rose over Zenthara, casting a golden glow on the palace. Princess Lyra stood by her window, staring out at the vibrant gardens below. Butterflies flitted among the flowers, but her heart felt heavy. Today, Prince Alex from Earth would arrive, and she was filled with a mix of curiosity and dread. As Lyra got ready, her mind raced with thoughts about the human prince. Would he be tall? Would he speak her language? She hoped he would not be as strange as the stories suggested. Finally, she took a deep breath and donned her royal gown, which sparkled like the stars. She hoped it would make her look strong and confident. In the grand hall, the atmosphere was electric with excitement. Royal guards stood at attention, and servants hurried around, making last-minute preparations. Lyra's parents, the king and queen, greeted their guests, who had come to witness the arrival of the human prince. The hall was filled with nobles and dignitaries, all eager to see the new alliance. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed outside, the sound of a spaceship landing. The guests turned to the large doors, their eyes wide with anticipation. Lyra's heart raced as she stepped forward, trying to catch a glimpse of the craft. It was sleek and shiny, unlike anything she had ever seen. As the ship's door opened, Lyra felt a wave of nervous energy wash over her. A figure stepped out, and her breath caught in her throat. Prince Alex was unlike anyone she had ever met. He had messy brown hair and warm brown eyes that sparkled with curiosity. He wore a simple outfit that looked comfortable, yet he carried himself with confidence. "Welcome to Zenthora, Prince Alex," the king boomed, stepping forward to greet him. Lyra watched as her father extended his hand, and Alex took it with a friendly smile. "Thank you for having me, Your Majesty," he replied, his voice cheerful. Lyra was surprised by how easy his words sounded, like a friendly breeze. As Alex entered the hall, he looked around with wide eyes. The decorations fascinated him. The glowing crystals and colorful tapestries were very different from what he was used to. Lyra felt a small smile tug at her lips. Maybe he would not be so bad after all. "Wow, this place is incredible," Alex exclaimed, looking at everything with awe. Lyra noticed how his eyes sparkled with genuine wonder. He had a boyish charm that was hard to ignore. Then their eyes met for the first time. Lyra's heart skipped a beat. She had expected him to be awkward or arrogant, but he looked friendly and open. "Princess Lyra," he said, his voice warm. "It's a pleasure to meet you." He bowed slightly, and Lyra felt her cheeks flush. "Likewise, Prince Alex," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. She could not help but notice the way he smiled at her, as if he saw her for who she truly was, not just a princess. The crowd buzzed around them, but in that moment, it felt like they were the only two people in the room. As they talked, Lyra realized that this human prince might not be what she had feared. Perhaps their union could bring something beautiful, but as the celebration began, a small voice in her mind whispered that it was too soon to tell. For now, she would take one step at a time, hoping that each moment would reveal more about this strange, yet intriguing, human prince. An unexpected encounter. The royal celebration was in full swing, filled with laughter, music, and delicious food from across Zenthora. Princess Lyra moved through the grand hall, trying to enjoy the festivities, but her thoughts kept drifting to Prince Alex. He was charming and friendly, but she still felt unsure about their future. After a while, Lyra decided to take a break from the crowd. She slipped out of the hall and wandered into the beautiful gardens surrounding the palace. The vibrant flowers were in full bloom, and the sweet fragrance filled the air. Lyra loved the gardens. They always made her feel calm and free. As she walked along the winding paths, she spotted a small, shimmering pond. She walked closer, admiring the way the sunlight danced on the water's surface. She was lost in thought when she heard a voice behind her. "Wow, this place is amazing." Lyra turned around to see Alex standing a few feet away. He had followed her into the gardens, his eyes wide with excitement. He looked so relaxed in his simple clothes, and Lyra couldn't help but smile. "I come here often," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "It's peaceful." Alex walked closer, taking in the colorful flowers and tall trees. "I can see why. It's beautiful." He crouched down to examine a bright blue flower, his curiosity shining in his eyes. "What's this one called?" "That's a Zenthora bloom," Lyra explained, her heart warming at his enthusiasm. "They only grow in this part of the galaxy. Everything here is so different from Earth. I love it," he said, standing back up and looking at her with a grin. "You must feel so lucky to live in such a magical place." Lyra felt a flutter in her chest at his compliment. It can be magical, but it also comes with a lot of responsibilities. She sighed softly. "Sometimes I wish I could just explore the universe like you do." "Me? Explore? I'm just a regular guy." Alex laughed, but Lyra could see the spark of adventure in his eyes. "But I get it. I've always wanted to see more than just my hometown." Suddenly, a loud noise interrupted their conversation. A small creature, furry and fast, darted past them. Lyra gasped as it knocked over a flower pot, sending dirt flying everywhere. Alex jumped back, startled. "What was that?" he asked, laughing. Lyra giggled, trying to regain her composure. "That's just a Xanthara spriggan. They're curious little creatures." Before she could explain more, the spriggan dashed toward a nearby tree. Without thinking, Alex took off after it. "Wait, come back," he shouted, his voice filled with excitement. Lyra laughed as she followed him. She never thought she would chase a creature through the gardens, but Alex made it feel like a fun adventure. They ran around the tree, dodging branches and leaves, until they finally cornered the spriggan. With a quick move, Alex knelt down and extended his hand. "Hey there, little buddy," he said gently. The spriggan stopped and sniffed at his fingers, its eyes curious. "See, it's not scary," Lyra said, watching Alex with wide eyes. She admired how he treated the creature with care and respect. After a moment, the spriggan twitched its nose and scampered away, leaving a trail of dirt behind. Lyra and Alex burst into laughter, both out of breath. "Okay, that was fun," Alex said, grinning at Lyra. "You really do have a magical home." As they stood there, catching their breath and sharing smiles, Lyra realized that maybe this human prince wasn't so bad after all. Perhaps their journey together could lead to unexpected adventures, and she felt a flicker of hope that their connection could grow into something beautiful. A new dawn. The day of the festival arrived, bright and vibrant, filled with excitement and anticipation. Princess Lyra and Prince Alex stood together at the palace gates, ready to welcome the crowds. Colorful banners waved in the gentle breeze, and the air was filled with the delicious smells of food from both Xanthara and Earth. Lyra felt a mix of nerves and joy as she looked out at the throngs of people gathered to celebrate their union. "Are you ready for this?" Alex asked, glancing at her with a supportive smile. Lyra took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "I am. This is our chance to show everyone that love can bring us together." As the gates opened, the sound of music and laughter filled the air. People from all walks of life entered the palace grounds, their faces filled with curiosity and excitement. Lyra and Alex stepped forward, greeting their guests with warm smiles. "Welcome, everyone," Lyra called out, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. "Today, we celebrate not just our marriage, but the joining of our two worlds." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and Lyra felt her heart swell with hope. As they moved through the festival, Lyra marveled at the various booths showcasing Xanthara's unique culture alongside Earth's traditions. There were colorful stalls filled with sweets, games, and music. People danced and laughed together, sharing stories and experiences. Lyra noticed a group of nobles standing near a food stall, their faces curious yet hesitant. She took Alex's hand, and together, they approached the group. "Hello, have you tried the Earth pastries?" Lyra asked, smiling brightly. One noble looked uncertain. "We're not sure. Is it really safe?" Alex stepped forward confidently. "I can promise you, they're delicious. Let me show you." He picked up a pastry and took a bite, grinning widely. "See, I'm perfectly fine." Laughter broke out among the group. Easing the tension, they began to sample the pastries, their expressions shifting from doubt to delight. Lyra's heart soared as she witnessed the connection forming between her guests. Throughout the day, Lyra and Alex continued to mingle, sharing laughter and stories with everyone. The atmosphere was electric, filled with joy and unity. It was everything Lyra had hoped for and more. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the courtyard, Lyra felt a sense of pride wash over her. As night fell, they gathered everyone in front of the main stage for the evening's finale. Lyra stood beside Alex, her heart racing, as she prepared to speak. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice steady. "This festival is a symbol of hope and unity. Together, we can build a future where our worlds thrive as one." The crowd erupted into applause, and Lyra felt the warmth of their support. She glanced at Alex, who gave her an encouraging nod. Together, they took a step forward, ready to share a dance under the stars. The music began to play, and Lyra felt the rhythm pull her in. She and Alex moved together, their steps in sync, as they danced amidst the laughter and joy of the festival. In that moment, all her fears melted away. She was no longer just a princess. She was a partner, a friend, and a symbol of hope for both their worlds. As they twirled and swayed, Lyra knew that their journey was just beginning. There would be challenges ahead, but with Alex by her side, she felt ready to face anything. Together, they had taken the first step toward a new dawn, where love could unite even the most different of worlds. As the stars twinkled above, Lyra looked out at the crowd, her heart filled with gratitude and hope. Today was not just a celebration of their marriage. It was the start of a beautiful future, one where they would build bridges instead of walls together. A choice made. The days following the wedding were filled with celebration and hope. Princess Lyra and Prince Alex were welcomed into the palace as a united couple. The people of Zenthora had shown support, and for the first time in a long while, Lyra felt a sense of belonging. Yet, despite the joyous atmosphere, a shadow of uncertainty lingered in the corners of her heart. One evening, after a long day of festivities, Lyra sat with Alex on their balcony. The moon hung high in the sky, casting a soft glow over the gardens below. They could hear the distant sound of music and laughter from the ongoing celebrations, but Lyra felt far away from it all. "Are you okay?" Alex asked, noticing the troubled look on her face. He turned to her, his warm brown eyes filled with concern. "You seem lost in thought." "I'm just thinking about everything," Lyra admitted, leaning against the railing. "We've come so far, and I'm so happy to be with you, but there's still a lot of pressure to make this union work. I want to prove to everyone that we can bring our worlds together." Alex nodded, understanding her struggle. "I get that. It's a lot of weight to carry. But remember, it's okay to feel unsure. This is new for both of us." Lyra sighed, feeling the truth in his words. "I know, but I can't help but worry. What if people still don't accept me? What if I can't balance my duties as a princess with being your wife?" "We'll figure it out together," Alex said firmly. "You don't have to do this alone. We can learn from each other and find a way that works for us." His words made Lyra smile, but a new thought crossed her mind. "But what if it's not enough? What if I have to choose between my people and my love for you?" "That's a heavy choice," Alex replied softly. "But I believe love can bridge any divide. You should never feel like you have to choose one over the other. We can find a way to honor both." Lyra looked out at the stars, contemplating his words. She wanted to believe it. The idea of bridging their worlds was both thrilling and terrifying. Suddenly, a memory flashed through her mind. The doubt in Lord Drax's eyes, the whispers of nobles who opposed her marriage. The fear of failing her people weighed heavily on her heart. "We should show them," Lyra said suddenly, determination rising within her. "We need to take action. We can't just hope for acceptance. We have to work for it." "What do you have in mind?" Alex asked, leaning closer, intrigued. "We should hold an event to celebrate both our cultures, a festival where everyone can come together, Zenthorans and humans. We can share our traditions, food, and music. It will show everyone that we can live in harmony." "That's a brilliant idea," Alex said, excitement lighting up his face. "It could be a great way to unite our people. We can invite representatives from Earth, too, to show them how serious we are about this partnership." Lyra felt a spark of joy at his enthusiasm. "Yes, we can work together to plan everything. It will take effort, but it's a chance to prove our love can overcome anything." As they planned, Lyra's heart filled with hope. She realized that this choice was not just about her love for Alex or her duty to her people. It was about building a future where both worlds could thrive. It was about taking charge of her destiny. "We can do this," she said, her voice steady. "I choose both. I choose love, and I choose my people." With a new sense of purpose, Lyra and Alex set off to prepare for the festival, knowing they would face challenges ahead, but ready to tackle them together. Together, they would build a bridge between their worlds, proving that love could change everything. Breaking barriers. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Princess Lyra and Prince Alex grew stronger. They spent every free moment together, exploring the wonders of Xanthora. Lyra felt lighter and happier than she had in a long time. She no longer saw Alex as just a human prince. He was becoming her friend. One sunny afternoon, Lyra decided to take Alex to a special place deep in the forest, a hidden spot only a few knew about. "I want to show you something amazing," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Lead the way," Alex replied, his enthusiasm contagious. They walked through the thick trees, the sunlight filtering through the leaves above. The air was fresh, filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. As they reached a clearing, Lyra's heart swelled with pride. Before them lay a beautiful waterfall cascading into a crystal-clear pool. "Wow, this is incredible," Alex exclaimed, his eyes wide. He rushed toward the water, splashing his hands in the cool liquid. "This place is like a dream." Lyra laughed, watching him. "I come here to think and find peace. It's my little escape from royal duties." She stepped closer to the water, feeling the mist on her skin. "Thank you for sharing it with me," he said, turning to face her. His expression was sincere, and Lyra felt a warmth in her chest. As they settled on a nearby rock, Lyra asked, "What's it like on Earth? I want to know more about your world." Alex's face lit up. "Well, there's a lot of different places, but my favorite is the beach. The sand is warm, and the ocean is vast. I love swimming in the waves." He gestured with his hands, painting a picture of the sea. "But it's nothing like this. Your planet is so vibrant and alive." Lyra smiled, enjoying his stories. "It sounds beautiful. I've always wanted to see the ocean." "You should," Alex said enthusiastically. "And you can, once we build our alliance. I can't wait to show you everything." Just then, a rustling noise interrupted their conversation. Lyra's heart raced as she glanced over her shoulder. Out of the bushes emerged a large, curious creature with bright purple fur and big eyes. "Is that?" Alex started, his eyes wide with surprise. "Yes, that's a Thralog," Lyra replied, her voice filled with excitement. "They're friendly and love to play." The Thralog approached them, sniffing the air. Alex laughed nervously, but held out his hand, trying to gain its trust. Lyra watched, her heart pounding. She had never seen a human interact with a Thralog before. "Come on, buddy," Alex said softly. The Thralog hesitated, but then took a step closer. Slowly, it nuzzled Alex's hand, its fur soft and warm. "See, it likes you," Lyra exclaimed, her eyes shining with joy. As Alex played with the Thralog, Lyra felt a wave of happiness wash over her. This human prince, who had once seemed so foreign, was now becoming a part of her world. He was breaking down the barrier she had built around her heart. "I can't believe I'm playing with a Thralog." Alex laughed, clearly delighted. "This is the best day ever." Lyra smiled, feeling a connection that went beyond words. She realized that their differences didn't matter as much as she had thought. They were both explorers at heart, curious about each other's worlds. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the waterfall, Lyra knew that this friendship was changing her life. She felt a new spark of hope for the future, and perhaps, just perhaps, this human prince could be more than she had ever dreamed. The dreaded ceremony approaches. As the days passed, the excitement of the celebration faded into a quiet tension. The royal palace buzzed with activity as preparations for the wedding ceremony intensified. Colorful banners were hung, flowers were arranged, and royal tailors worked tirelessly to create the perfect gown for Princess Lyra. Yet, amidst all the preparations, Lyra's heart felt heavy. She often wandered the gardens with Alex, enjoying their time together, but each day brought her closer to the wedding that she dreaded. Lyra tried to focus on the fun they had, but the thought of marrying Alex loomed over her like a dark cloud. One evening, as they strolled through the gardens, Lyra couldn't hold back her feelings any longer. "Alex," she began, her voice shaking slightly, "I need to talk to you about the wedding." Alex paused, concern filling his brown eyes. "What's wrong, Lyra? You look worried." Lyra took a deep breath, searching for the right words. "I'm not sure about this wedding. I feel like I'm being forced into something I don't want. It's all happening so fast." "I understand," he said gently, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're under a lot of pressure, and it's okay to feel scared. But we can figure this out together." His words were comforting, but Lyra couldn't shake the weight of her duty. "But what if it's not enough? What if I can't learn to love you the way I should? What if the people of Zenthora never accept you?" Alex frowned, his brow furrowing. "I don't want you to feel trapped, Lyra. This is a big step for both of us. I came here hoping we could build something special, but I never want you to feel forced into it." Lyra looked into his eyes and saw the sincerity there. "You are special to me, Alex. I've never met anyone like you before. You've shown me so much about your world, and I really enjoy our time together. But, Alex pressed, his voice gentle, "I'm scared of disappointing my family and my people. They expect me to be a perfect princess. But I don't feel ready for this. I worry about what everyone will say." Her heart raced as she spoke, and she felt vulnerable. Alex took a step closer, his expression softening. "You don't have to be perfect, Lyra. You just have to be yourself. And I'll stand by you, no matter what happens. We can face whatever comes together." Lyra smiled slightly, feeling a spark of hope. "You really mean that?" "Of course. We can create our own path," he replied with a grin. "Besides, I'm just as nervous as you are. I'm about to marry a princess, after all." Lyra laughed, the tension easing between them. "I guess we are both in this together, huh?" "Absolutely," Alex said, his eyes sparkling. "And if the people of Zenthora can see how happy we are, they might just come around." As they talked, Lyra felt a warmth in her heart. Maybe there was a way to make this work. Maybe, just maybe, she could learn to love him in her own time. But as the wedding day approached, doubt lingered in the back of her mind. She knew that the ceremony would be filled with eyes watching, expectations weighing on her shoulders. The thought of standing in front of everyone made her stomach churn. That night, Lyra lay in bed, staring at the stars through her window. She knew she had to find a way to balance her duties with her feelings. The wedding was just days away, and she hoped that by then, she would discover the courage to embrace her fate, whatever that might be. A test of trust. The days turned into a blur as the wedding approached. Lyra felt a mix of excitement and fear. She and Alex had grown closer, but doubt still lingered in her mind. Just when she thought things might be okay, trouble arrived in the form of a message from a rival faction within the Zenthora court. One evening, as Lyra and Alex walked through the palace gardens, a messenger rushed toward them. The messenger, a young man with worried eyes, bowed deeply. "Princess Lyra, Prince Alex, urgent news." "What is it?" Lyra asked, her heart pounding. "There are rumors that some nobles do not support your marriage," the messenger said, his voice shaky. "They believe this alliance with a human prince will bring shame to Zenthora." Lyra's stomach twisted. What? Who would say such things? "A few influential families, including House Drax," the messenger replied. "They are spreading rumors and trying to turn the people against you." Lyra felt a wave of anger and fear wash over her. Why would they do this? "Power," the messenger replied. "They want to maintain control over the kingdom and see your union as a threat." Alex's expression turned serious. "We can't let them succeed. We need to show everyone that our bond is strong." "Agreed," Lyra said, feeling a spark of determination. "But how?" "We should host a public gathering, Alex suggested. "We can invite everyone to see us together, to show them how we support each other. If they see us united, they might change their minds." Lyra nodded, liking the idea. "That could work, but what if they still don't accept me? What if they see me as a traitor for marrying a human?" Alex reached for her hand, his grip firm. "You won't be alone. We'll face this together. Trust me." That night, Lyra lay awake, thinking about Alex's words. Trust. It was a big step, especially when her heart felt so confused. She had spent her life following the rules, doing what was expected of her. Now she was about to break those rules for love. The next day, they met with the royal advisors to plan the gathering. Tension filled the air as Lyra explained her idea. Some advisors looked unsure, but Lyra stood tall. "We need to show the people that love can unite our worlds. If they see us together, they might understand." After much discussion, the advisors agreed to the plan. The gathering was set for 2 days later, and Lyra felt both nervous and excited. When the day finally arrived, the palace courtyard was filled with people. Nobles, townsfolk, and curious onlookers gathered, murmuring among themselves. Lyra stood next to Alex, feeling the weight of their eyes on them. As the crowd quieted, Lyra took a deep breath. She stepped forward, holding Alex's hand tightly. "Thank you all for coming," she began, her voice steady but her heart racing. "Today, we stand together not just as a princess and a prince, but as allies and friends. Our union is a chance for both our worlds to grow and learn from each other." Alex added, "I may come from Earth, but here, I have found friendship and love. I promise to respect your culture and work for the good of Xanthara. We are stronger together." Lyra looked at the crowd, searching their faces. Some looked uncertain, while others seemed curious. She felt Alex's hand squeeze hers, giving her strength. Suddenly, a voice called out from the back of the crowd. "What if this is just a trick? What if he is using you?" Lyra's heart sank, but Alex stood firm. "You have every right to question me, but I ask for your trust. I will prove myself to you." Lyra felt the weight of the moment. This was their test of trust, not just between them, but with the people of Xanthara. She hoped that together, they could show everyone that love could conquer doubt and fear. As the crowd watched, she took a deep breath, ready to face whatever came next. The wedding day. The day of the wedding dawned bright and clear, with the sun shining down on the palace of Xanthara. Princess Lyra stood in front of the large mirror in her royal chamber, staring at her reflection. The stunning gown made of shimmering fabric wrapped around her like a cloud. Intricate patterns glistened, reflecting the light, while a delicate veil framed her face. She looked like a true princess, but inside, she felt a storm of emotions. "Are you ready, my dear?" her mother asked, entering the room. The queen's voice was soft, but Lyra could hear the concern beneath it. "I think so," Lyra replied, trying to sound confident. But her heart raced with nerves. What if the crowd didn't accept her marriage? What if she disappointed everyone? "You are going to be wonderful," her mother said, placing a gentle hand on Lyra's shoulder. "This is a day of joy and celebration." Lyra smiled weakly, but she couldn't shake the feeling of doubt. Today would change everything, and she wanted to be brave. As the ceremony began, Lyra walked down the grand aisle, surrounded by colorful flowers and glowing decorations. The palace courtyard was filled with people, nobles, townsfolk, and those who had come to witness the joining of two worlds. Their faces looked up at her with a mix of excitement and skepticism. Alex stood at the front, dressed in a sharp suit that made him look handsome and confident. When their eyes met, a wave of warmth rushed through Lyra. She remembered the journey they had taken together, the laughter, the trust, and the unexpected friendship that had blossomed. In that moment, all her fears faded away. "Look at you," Alex whispered as she reached him, a genuine smile lighting up his face. "You are breathtaking." "Thank you," she replied, feeling her cheeks flush. His presence gave her strength, and she knew they could face anything together. The ceremony began, with the high priest leading them through the traditional vows. Lyra listened carefully as he spoke about love, unity, and the importance of their alliance. She could feel the weight of every word, knowing this was a moment she would remember forever. When it came time for their vows, Lyra took a deep breath. "I promise to be your partner in life," she began, her voice steady. "I will stand by you through every challenge and support you as we build our future together." Alex smiled, his eyes shining with pride. "And I promise to honor your culture and cherish our bond. Together, we will create a new path for our worlds." As they exchanged rings, Lyra felt a spark of hope. The symbols of their commitment were beautiful, shining with promise. But just as they prepared to seal their vows with a kiss, a loud voice broke through the crowd. "Stop this nonsense," a noble shouted from the back, his voice filled with anger. "This union is a disgrace. You betray your people, princess." Lyra's heart sank as she turned to see who had spoken. It was Lord Drax, a powerful noble who had openly opposed her marriage. Whispers spread through the crowd, and Lyra felt fear grip her heart again. Alex stepped forward, his expression fierce. "This is not just a union. It is a chance for our worlds to grow together. Love is stronger than hatred, and we will not back down." His words rang out, cutting through the tension in the air. Lyra felt a surge of courage. She turned to the crowd, her voice strong. "We can create a new future together, one filled with understanding and friendship. I believe in our love, and I hope you will too." Lyra and Alex joined hands tightly, their bond unbroken. The crowd fell silent, and in that moment, Lyra felt the support of those who believed in them. Finally, the priest declared, "By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." As they leaned in for their first kiss, Lyra felt a wave of joy wash over her. It was not just a kiss, it was a promise of a new beginning. In that moment, Lyra knew that together, they could face anything, no matter the doubts and fears that lay ahead.